was all right. I mean, it was a little off. Don't forget you're the you're the boy. What?
This bride away?
Her mother and I.
Thank you, sir.
You guys be good.
Yeah, we're gonna try. All right. Fix your dress. Can you come a little closer? It'll be good, and then I'll hand your bouquet off.
Yes.
Hand your bouquet.
Now you're good? Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. We are gathered here today to witness the union of Marshall and Brittney. Welcome, friends. Welcome, family. We are so glad to have you with us on this very special occasion. Today is the beginning of a remarkable journey for this couple. Drawing on their mutual admiration, respect, and trust, they are ready to embark on the next chapter in their lives. We celebrate the love and light evident in their relationship and wish them well on this joyous occasion. I have had the luxury of knowing Marshall since we were both in elementary. Marshall is one of the most passionate people I've ever come to know. Over the years, I have been lucky enough to see his true passion displayed within his work and his hobbies. Having known Marshall and seeing his passion in person, I can absolutely attest to seeing that same passion that found within his love that he has for Brittney. Having met Brittney through Marshall, it is abundantly clear that the two of them were made for one another. When they're together, it is clear that they drive one another with fuel and fuel each other with determination. Among all of their shared activities together, Marshall and Brittney also share their belief in God. Knowing this, I asked Marshall and Brittney to share with me a scripture that could illustrate for us what it means to be in love, in marriage, and to have faith. I also asked them at the same time that they did not share the scriptures with one another so that I could share them here today. Now, a beautiful thing happened when I asked for this. Could you believe that they both sent to me the exact same verse? All of the different chapters and books and scriptures you could choose from, and they landed on the exact same one. Now, luckily for me, Brittney did provide another verse that I'll also be sharing, but let's take a look at the one that they both decided on unknowingly. Now, this comes from Ephesians chapter 4, verses 2 and 3. With all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love, eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. Eager. Now take a moment to reflect on the words and know that Marshall and Brittney chose those words together, and it is shared between them. And as I mentioned before, Brittney did share an alternative scripture that I wanted to share as well. This comes from 1 John chapter 4, verse 16. And so we know and rely on the love God has for us. God is love. Whoever lives in love lives in God, and God in them. Marshall and Brittney, thank you both for giving us a glimpse of what it means to be in love. So now in our next process here, we can get that started. Through marriage,
We can start the late.
Marshall and Brittney are going to join their separate lives. And before us, we have two separate bottles of sand to symbolize two separate sets of friends, two separate sets of families, and two separate sets of lives. They represent all that you are and all that you'll be as an individual. As these two containers of sand are poured into the third container, the individual containers of sand will no longer exist, but will be joined together as one. Just as these grains of sand can never be separated and poured again into the individual containers, so will their marriage also be.
Got a lot there. All right, we're just gonna go. Just do it. And we get a little
Little
off the top.
Overflowing with love.
Yeah. Back at it. There's more blue.
So, Now, I will invite the couple to share their vows with one another. Marshall and Brittney, the promises that you make are sacred. They are the groundwork from which your marriage will grow and blossom over time. Marshall, will you begin first?
Thanks, dude. All right. Let me just hold it like. Are we picking it up or?
You do whatever you want.
I'll
Yeah,
pick it
that's
up.
probably easier.
All right. Let's start. Macaroni, small chili cheese fry, can of Mountain Dew, and a crispy bar. 2 years ago, that was the only thing I thought about when I saw your face. Now I can't even put into words what I think of. You are mesmerizing, you are breathtaking, and you are sorry, my writing's terrible, and you are you. Just from dating you for a day or two, I knew you were the one. I remember the first time you put a smiley face and a heart on my car window, December 16th, 2018. I walked out of work and said, I'm going to marry this girl. We had been dating for 7 days. Since then, every time I see you, I have the same feeling. When you are sad, I promise I will never stop trying to make you laugh. When you are sick, I promise that I will make you chicken noodle soup that tastes just like Bob Evans. It's just Bob Evans. When you are finding yourself, I promise to give you space. On my deathbed, I promise to love you until my last breath. When we fail time and time again, I promise to work with you until we succeed. When we are led astray by the things in this world, I promise to pray and ask God to guide us. Let me see where I'm at here. When you don't have to get up in the morning, I promise to tuck you in every single morning. I promise that I will be there with you every step of the way. When God made you, he split your soul in two. Then God made me, so we're destined to be. I love you, Brittney. Bunches on bunches.
And now, Brittney?
You got it. Stab on
I'm gonna blow my nose.
it. Here you go. We'll cover the mic up so you don't have to hear it. She'll probably be shaking, so we'll just give that to you so you don't have to hold it anymore. There you go. Litter.
Okay. So, Marshall, can you hear me?
I think so.
Okay. Marshall, you know at first that I was completely terrified of you and thought you might kill me the first time I went over to your house. But then I saw you had paint splattered on your wall, and I just knew right then that you were the one for me. Destiny literally brought us together, and I'm really glad that your mom told me that you kind of had a crush on me.
Thanks, Mom.
God, okay. Whew.
I know I can't read my writing.
I promise to be there for you through the thick and thin, even when you accidentally throw me over your shoulder like John Cena giving someone an attitude adjustment. I promise to give you space when you need it and to keep your water glass full. I promise to show you every day that I love you and appreciate everything that you do for me. I'm sorry.
Just breathe.
I'm grateful that even after 2 years, you still open the car door for me and bake the crescent rolls in the shape of a heart. You still give me a kiss and tuck me in before you go to work. You still dance with me around the kitchen and ask me to sit with you when you play video games. You have made dreams come true for me that I never thought possible. I am beyond blessed that God crossed our paths, and I can't wait to do this thing with you for the rest of our lives. I love you bunches on bunches until the very end.
Thank you both for sharing that. Marshall, Brittney, it's time for your rings. These rings today will forever remind you of the love and passion that you feel for one another. It is a symbol of your promise to each other. Brittney, please prepare your ring for Marshall. Marshall, before your friends and family, do you take Brittney as your beloved wife, to have and to hold, through laughter and in sadness, through challenges and successes, so long as you both shall live?
I do.
Marshall, please prepare your ring for Brittney.
Thank you. Hold it like this.
Brittney, before your friends and family, do you take Marshall as your beloved husband, to have and to hold through laughter and in sadness, through challenges and successes, so long as you both shall live?
I do.
Marshall and Brittney, by the power vested in me, by the Universal Life Church, and by the state of Michigan, I happily pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, I give you Mr. and Mrs. Maskey.
Don't trip. Legend. Hi. Hi.
So if you guys don't know me, I'm the best man. My name's Cameron. And for those of you that do know me, I apologize. I'd just like to preface this speech by letting you know just how nervous I am. So I'm not really used to public speaking, and when I get nervous, I am known to mispronounce my worms. Alright, so let me go ahead and get some thank yous out of the way as well. To all the guests, I'd like to personally thank you for coming out, taking the time to travel here tonight. I know some of you had to travel far to be here, and on behalf of the lovely couple, we are so grateful. For everyone who helped get this celebration going tonight, you've all been superb. Thank you. Kay, that's a special shout out to you. You've been my boss for like the past 3 days. I'm off the clock now though. To all the bridesmaids and the rest of the groomsmen, thank you for helping and getting everything going without a hitch today. We nailed it. Except you, Nazir. We all seen you fall.
I did fall. And I broke my flower, too.
You broke your flower? Oh, yeah, you and Mitch broke your flowers. Yeah, we know. To the bride and groom's parents, thank you for raising these two amazing people. None of our lives would be the same without them, and that's all thanks to you guys. So, Barb, wherever you are, hi, Barb. We love you. And lastly, Marshall specifically wanted me to thank Brittney for showing up today. I don't really think you know what that means. Alright, so, the best man speech is kind of for throwing out some of the most embarrassing aspects of the groom's past. Funny stories from high school, shenanigans with friends, but I'll try to avoid that the best I can. Instead, I'd rather just make it clear just why Brittney has decided to marry Marshall. There really are just 3 reasons. Firstly, he's got really good taste. I mean, he did pick me as his best man, so... And, if you guys didn't know, he even decided to wear the same shoes as me today. Secondly, when he loves hard. There's nothing this man wouldn't do for me. In fact, in like the last 10 years that I've known him, he really hasn't done anything for me. So, Brittney, I guess that's what you have to look forward to. And finally, he smells great. Who doesn't want to come home at the end of the night to the smell of hot dog water? All right, so all jokes aside, I'm very, very proud to be standing here tonight as the best man at this wedding. Marshall's one of the greatest friends that I've come to know in my lifetime, and anyone else who is close to Marshall knows just how deep he loves those in his life. Marshall is the type of person who can sit and watch me look at a map of a video game for at least an hour, and not complain once. Marshall, I bet you remember Red Dead Redemption and those iconic wind sounds it made when you just scrolled the cursor over the map? Yeah. Yep. All right, maybe you complain once. He's the kind of friend to make sure to host a party once a year to allow all of our friends from high school to get together and catch up and make sure that we don't lose contact. That is Brosmas. And there is many of you in this room who have been to a Brosmas or multiple. He's the kind of friend to carry sticky notes in his car or invoices. I've gotten one of those. To make sure that he can leave them, to write notes and leave them in places where his friends can find them. I don't know how many times I've come out after a long day of work and there's just something calling me profanity in my car from Marshall, and I love that. Marshall puts all his love into everything he does, and this shows with his relationship with Brittney. Their relationship is really something to admire. It's always been easy with the two of them, and you can kind of see how easy it is for them to love another. Sorry, I'm getting lost here in my notes. Hold on. All right, it's always been easy for the two of them. You can see how easy it is for them to love one another, and it's something that we should all strive for one day. To find a person that is so easy to love, you do it without even being conscious of it. Marshall wakes up in the morning with his heart beating, his lungs breathing, and his entire being loving Brittney. It just is. And that's a beautiful thing. I remember when Marshall first began to talk to me and Charlie about Brittney. I'm not sure if you know this, Brittney, but you definitely had him at first sight. He didn't say that earlier. Earlier he just mentioned your order. But you definitely had. So he came over to the house, and he kind of just started talking about, oh, there's this pretty girl. She keeps coming into the restaurant, and she's ordering lunch, but I haven't seen her before. And all of a sudden now she's coming there like, what, 7 times a week, Brittney? For a little while he continued to mention how, this pretty girl kept coming in, and she smiled at him today. Whatever. Finally, he told us that he learned her name, and he actually looked her up on Facebook. Sorry, it sounds a little creepy. He looked her up on Facebook and showed her to us. And ironically, Charlie already knew who she was and everything. But yeah, so he was definitely at that point crushing very hard for her. Eventually, he worked up the nerve to ask her on a date to go see Fantastic Beasts. Most likely for like the 10th time. Seeing it from Marshall, because he definitely goes and sees those a lot. And Brittney responded that she was kind of waiting for that to happen, because she really wasn't coming to the restaurant for anything else other than to see Marshall. Sorry, Barb, wherever you are, it's not because of your amazing cooking. After that date, it really wasn't long before the rest of us kind of knew that you guys were going to be life partners. You guys just clicked so well, and as I said before, it's always been easy with the two of you. I think we know it'll continue to be easy for the two of you to continue to love each other so wholly and so purely. So let us all wish Brittney and Marshall years and years of happiness. May you be friends to each other only as lovers can, and may you love each other only as best friends can.
I'm Hannah. I'm the maid of honor. Brittney and I met in 8th grade advanced U.S. history, and we didn't talk to each other most of the time, but we figured it out. I'm so happy to have been on this ride with her the entire time, and she is one of the best friends I could have asked for. She's always there no matter what. All of the midnight phone calls while I'm driving home in my car crying after class, all of it. And Marshall just fit in perfectly with that. I remember her telling me the first time they were going to go on a date, and she sent me her location and told me when she was going, because she might not come back, and she was just a little scared. But, as we can see, it turned out just fine.
You notice both of them missing.
May the most you wish for be the least you get. To Marshall and Brittney.
All right, everybody, we're we're going to welcome Mr. and Mrs. Maskey to the floor for their first dance.